Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq Composite today and check in on the VIX and check in on gold because it looks like gold may be breaking out. Now, I thought that for sure a couple of months ago, back in October, but it sure looks like it's trying to do it now. And we'll look at what I think the Elliott Wave picture is. And why do I call this mirror image? Well, we'll get into that also because I think that could be an interesting picture as we move into January. All right, so let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was down 15.77 on Friday. So we had a pretty weak market. I mean, low volume week this last week, 3.5 days of trading. It was mixed on Friday. Dow was up slightly. S&P was basically flat. Nasdaq, this composite was down, and the Russell 2000 was down. For the week, the Nasdaq was up 81.66, a strong trend that it's been in. But let's take a look at the Elliott Wave picture. Of course, you remember last year, don't you? I mean, look at this move that happened in the fall from the high. Actually, the high was right here at the end of August on the Nasdaq. But here's where the selling really started to kick in the beginning of October and into the end of December here. And pretty strong move. We had some pretty heavy duty selling going on. But then what happened? It just went completely in reverse and rallied up. And so now it struck me that when you look at this V bottom, are we looking at a mirror image of this going on today? So if we go back to today and take a look at this, what are we doing in here? Well, actually, let's just go to October. Here's October. Here's the beginning of October. And look at the move that's going on. Now, I've been looking for this to end, this leg. I'm looking for an ABC, looking for the C wave to complete and have a zigzag complete for wave 3. I still think that this looks like a nice ending diagonal. Although, as I talked about, there was a couple questions mentioned in the comments, and I replied back to those comments. The Nasdaq, the S&P have pushed far enough now that if it does do a zigzag wave 4 pullback like I'm anticipating right in here, it'll create a situation where wave 4 will be greater than wave 2. And you can't have that because it needs to overlap. And you can't have wave 4 greater than wave 2 in a contracting ending diagonal pattern. But this could be morphing into an expanding ending diagonal. And then everything's a little bit of a reverse. You're kind of broadening out. Then wave 3 needs to be greater than 1. Wave 4 needs to be greater than 2. And 5 greater than 3. So I think that's a real possibility. We're also looking at other possibilities, but that clearly the Nasdaq, the S&P have so far invalidated a contracting ending diagonal pattern. So here's what we've got. I think we're in this fifth wave. We continue to push higher. We're definitely getting overbought. When you look down at the 195-minute chart, the 195 creates 2 bars for each day. It just gives a different view in here. This is the picture. It shows that we're in that fifth wave within the C wave. Okay, let's go back to the daily view. So if we look at this and you do the mirror image of what happened last year, last year the market was going in the tank throughout this entire period and then rallied very strongly. And if we get the pullback that I'm talking about, that would create that mirror image picture that's going on. I couldn't help but think about it. When we're seeing markets that are definitely overbought. We're seeing some pretty extreme bullish sentiment coming out of the option pits, and there are other things going on also. So that's the picture here on the Nasdaq, and we'll watch and see. I'm looking for this to break down out of this channel and come back down and overlap wave 1, which is this dotted line is the high of wave 1. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I think we may have a little bit more to push up here. We'll see. All right, let's take a look at the VIX. Okay, so last week I talked about this bottoming zone that I kind of identified with these green bars down here. Basically what I did was I put a horizontal line at the low for the prior week, and I basically captured the week's range in here. And I thought it was interesting that for the most part, it was capturing the zone where the VIX had basically been bottoming over the last 2 years. Now, there have been times where it went slightly below it, but by and large, that's where it chopped around and then started to explode to the upside. Well, what happened on Friday? It really perked up on Friday. Now, this kind of surprised me because the market really didn't do much on Friday. I mean, it was very subtle moves. The percentage gains and losses weren't big at all. It was essentially a mixed flat type of market. And then we get this big move here with the VIX. And I say big because, I mean, it literally just closed above the trading of the previous 8 days. And it was the highest close of the VIX since December 12th. So we'll see. I mean, when it started to perk up like that a few weeks ago, it then led to a pretty nice little pop. And I continue to watch. I'm not trying to get excited about something like this. I'm looking for something to come up here and break this longer term trend line, because I think when we break this longer term trend line, we're really going to get an explosion. Okay, so that's what I'm watching for. That's the VIX. Let's take a look at gold. Okay, here's GLD. GLD was down 5 cents on Friday, but it had a really nice move this week. Now, it was only 4 days of trading, actually 3.5, but a really nice pop in here in the move. And the weekly view is like this. So here's the picture. It was up $2.81 for the week. To me, it sure looks like it's breaking out of this consolidation pattern. Now, a few months ago, I had talked about gold. I think it was right after this high right in here, and I really thought we were going to break out and run. We pulled back, made another attempt at it, but that was it. It just couldn't get anywhere, and it just kind of came back and, you know, wallowed along. After I had this pullback into November, mid-November, let's call it, then it started to try to bottom and come and turn around. So we'll see. When I look at the Elliott Wave picture, let me grab the right one. I think it is the blue, and yes, this is it. Let's look at the weekly chart. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of the noise, okay, just to keep it simple. I'm looking for one more push to the upside, okay? Actually, I grabbed the wrong version. This is what I was tracking. There was a couple of different possibilities. And I was tracking this as a big triangle for B, as an A, B, C. But I think what ended up fitting the picture much better is this picture right here. That B turned out to be a zigzag. You could count it as a zigzag. You could count it as a big triangle. I think in terms of what's going on in this final wave, I feel like this counts better. Okay. So what this shows is that for the C wave, we're trying to flush out a 5-wave impulse wave structure, and that we have one more move to the upside to complete the 5th wave. Now I'm targeting up here like 161. We'll just have to watch and see. You know, the 5th wave, again, it could be some kind of ending diagonal. It could be an impulsive, just a regular impulsive motive wave. So we'll watch and see how the waves unfold in here. But this is what I am looking at in terms of gold and where I think it's heading. All right, that's the picture for today. Stay tuned and stay on the edge of your chairs, because I got a feeling January is going to get real interesting, sitting on top of a lot of gains as the market moves into the new year. All right, everyone, if you felt like the video was helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that little subscribe button. And if you'd like more of this kind of information on a regular daily basis, head on over to joehenches.net. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. And you know what? By the time I talk to you next, it's going to be the new year. So have a great new year, happy new year, and prosperous 2020.